He had everything: money, power, and a world built around his name. But all it took was one girl from the wrong side of town to make him risk it all. This is love he couldn't afford to lose. In a world where wealth draws lines deeper than oceans, love dared to cross them. This is the story of Ethan Marshall, only son of one of the wealthiest families in the city, and Amara Blake, a poor scholarship student whose heart carried more gold than any fortune could buy. The Marshall family was a dynasty, an empire of luxury, pride, and old money. Their mansion stood on a hill like a fortress of glass and silence. Ethan had everything people envied, but he'd never known what it meant to feel alive. Then came the first day of senior year at Hillsworth Academy, where the wealthy polished their crowns and the poor came to survive. Ethan stepped out of his limousine, cold morning air brushing against his perfect suit. At the gate, a girl bumped into him, her books scattering across the ground. He bent down, their hands brushed, and the world seemed to pause. She looked up, her eyes uncertain, her hair slightly messy, her voice soft. "I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there." He smiled. "It's okay. Neither did I." That moment, brief, simple, but real, would become the spark that would set their hearts on fire. Ethan and Amara's worlds collided, slowly, beautifully. He, the rich boy everyone watched. She, the girl no one noticed, except him. They studied together, laughed under the oak tree behind the library. Shared secrets, dreams, fears. She taught him kindness, he showed her confidence. In her, he found truth. In him, she found hope. But whispers began to spread, cruel, jealous whispers. The billionaire's son with the charity case. Ethan ignored them. But Amara, she felt their sting. Then came the school's annual gala, a night of diamonds and judgment. Ethan asked her to be his date. She refused at first, shy, afraid of what his world would say. But his eyes told her, he didn't care. That night, she arrived in a simple white dress. Every head turned. And when Ethan held out his hand, every heart froze. They danced, slow, graceful, like they'd known each other forever. But at the edge of the ballroom stood Mrs. Marshall, Ethan's mother. Her eyes sharp as diamonds, her voice calm but cutting when she later said, "End this, Ethan. That girl is not for our family." He argued, but she simply whispered, "Love doesn't build empires, son. It destroys them." That night, Ethan realized something. Love, in his world, came with a price. After the gala, everything changed. Ethan's parents threatened to cut him off. No car, no college, no inheritance. But he didn't care. He kept meeting Amara in secret, by the lake, behind the library. Each stolen hour becoming a memory too precious to lose. Then came graduation day. He promised her, "I'll come back for you. I'll prove them wrong." She smiled through tears. "Don't promise forever, Ethan. Just promise you won't forget." Musical note, soft rain sound, melancholic tone. He left for college abroad. She stayed, working 2 jobs, struggling to survive. But always looking at the stars, whispering his name. N came back, not the boy who left, but a man ready to make his own destiny. He searched for her, and found her, working at a small flower shop in their old town. Time had changed them both. But one look, one smile, and everything came rushing back. They talked for hours that day. About dreams, regrets, and the future they never got to build. And for a moment, it seemed like fate had finally given them another chance. But fate can be cruel. Unknown to Ethan, his father had been watching. And when he saw his son choosing love over legacy, he acted. The next morning, Amara was fired. Her landlord raised her rent. Every door she knocked on, suddenly closed. Ethan confronted his father. His voice cracked with anger. "You can't control everything, Dad. Mr. Marshall smiled coldly. "I built this family. You'll either inherit it, or destroy it." That night, Ethan left the mansion, walking into the rain. He found Amara at the old train station, a suitcase in her hand. She turned as he ran to her. "I can't keep fighting this, Ethan. I'm tired," he begged, his voice shaking. "I'll leave it all. I'll start over with you." She looked at him, tears falling like the rain around them. "You'd hate me for it one day. You were born for a world I don't belong to." She stepped onto the train. And as it pulled away, Ethan stood frozen, the rich boy who finally had nothing left to lose. Years passed. Ethan never married. Never rebuilt the empire. Instead, he lived quietly, working in a small publishing house. Writing stories about love, stories that always ended the same way. Every morning, he'd visit the old oak tree at Hillsworth, where their initials still carved the bark. E+A= forever. He'd smile softly and whisper, "You were the only thing I couldn't afford to lose." This was love he couldn't afford to lose. A story of love, wealth, pride, and the cost of a heart too pure for a world too cruel. What would you have done if you were Ethan? Would you give up your fortune for love? Or walk away to protect the life you've always known? Do you think Amara was right to leave? Or did she make the biggest mistake of her life? Tell me in the comments below.